Welcome back to In Business. We will see the so-called Buffett rule get a test vote in the Senate this week. Just last week, President Obama met with several millionaires who are supportive of the proposed bill. One of those in attendance is my next guest, Lawrence Benenson, partner at Benenson Capital. He joins us with his take. So you took your assistant,
Carmen Peterson, yes,
to Washington with you to voice your support. Why are you supporting a tax that would have you pay more?
Well, I'm supporting a tax that would have me pay more because it would raise $100 billion over the next 10 years. And this is not very much in a $15 trillion deficit. But tell that to people who across the country cut 50-cent and dollar coupons to buy milk and paper towels. That's not enough. I mean, Benjamin Franklin said a penny saved is a penny earned.
Mm-hmm. But that, besides the sum not necessarily being substantial enough to make a dent in the deficit, what you're talking about, though, is the cost of living, inflation for the average person. So you paying more doesn't mean that somebody else is going to pay less to put food on the table. The concepts are separate, right? So why do you think it's worth it?
Well, it's worth it because it will increase revenues, and that's what needs to be done. The president made tax cuts in 2001 and 2003. I know that he did so thinking that it would spur the economy and there would be great economic well-being throughout the nation. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. The president in 1993 raised taxes and there was economic prosperity. In his first term, 11 million jobs were created. I'm saying that we need to raise revenue. So if we need to raise revenue, one of the other things that we know is on the horizon is what happens at the end of the year when the first Bush era, now Obama era tax cuts are supposed to go away. So that would impact a broader piece of the population. So will that address what you're concerned about? Somewhat. I think that they should have ended sooner. They had an expiration date. They should have been let to expire.
You don't think it would be harmful to economic activity for those same people who are
No, I don't think it would be harmful to economic activity. But I'm here to talk about the Buffett rule. And the Buffett rule says that people who make over $1 million a year should pay at least 30% in taxes. We have people in power right now and who aim to be in power who are paying 15.6% and 20%. And it's unfair.
So give me some perspective here on why you think this is the right bet. Because those on the other side of this say, sure, if you do want to make those who have more money pay more in taxes, there are ways to do that through closing tax loopholes, through changing the overall tax system, rather than creating a new rule, a new law specifically targeting them. Why do you think that writing a check under the Buffett rule would be better than getting rid of some of the other incentives?
Well, that's a very good question. In 1969, 1976, 1986, there were tax reform acts. It's been 25 years since the last Tax Reform Act, the 26th. And the way Congress is today, with the bipartisanship and the fighting and the name-calling, I have very little hope of a Tax Reform Act passing in the next couple of years. The Buffett rule would show that the government is going in the correct direction, taking a step in the correct direction to alleviate the deficit, which is all anyone really cares about. And we need to raise revenues to do that. So
you were one of, what, 4 other millionaires who met with the president last week. What did you talk about?
Well, we mostly shook hands and said, hi, how are you? He was very glad that we were there to support the Buffett rule. There was a man.
Are you voting for him?
It's likely that I will vote for him. I think his policies have shown that he cares a lot about the country. He's in touch with the people. And this Buffett rule that he's supporting has a widespread support, whether you're in one party or another.
Well, a lot of Republicans aren't fans of this in particular, and there are some in that tax bracket who aren't happy about paying for that.
That's right, there are. And there are about 200,000 people who earn over $1 million a year. There's 310 million people in the country. And about 309.5 million think taxes should go up on people who make the most amount of money. Not on them, but I think it would be fair.
All right. Well, that's your take. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Margaret.
I appreciate it. We got to leave it there, come back in a moment and tell you about President Obama and the Democratic Party bringing up a big month for fund